One of the most important shipping routes in the world is under pressure at the moment, and most people don't realize is how serious this actually is. The Strait of Hormuz handles roughly 20% of the world's oil and 90% of Iran's oil. And as of today, there are growing concerns around naval mines, restricted access, and military movement in the region as of April 12, 2026. And wherever something like this happens, the market doesn't just react to oil, it reacts to technology needed to solve the problem. So today we're breaking down what's really happening and a small group of companies that could benefit if this escalation continues. To understand why this matters, you have to zoom out. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical shipping routes in the world. This is the Strait of Hormuz here. This is the Strait of Hormuz here. This is the Persian Gulf, and you have to go through here in order to get to the ocean. The Strait of Hormuz is around one out of every 5 barrels of oil moves through this narrow passage. So even a small disruption here can ripple through global markets almost immediately. Here, this is where 90% of Iran's oil is exported from. The island of Kark. And this is Iran's oil exports. 90% is exported from here, which they have to ship through the Strait of Hormuz here. To get through to the Arabian Sea. Recently, there have been efforts to keep the strait open with limited vessel traffic allowed under certain conditions. But at the same time, military assets have moved into the region to deal with a much bigger problem, naval mines. This is where the UAE has built a pipeline. They knew that this was going to be an issue, the Strait of Hormuz, and this is Iran to the north here. So the UAE decided to build its own pipeline to get around the Strait of Hormuz. $4.2 billion deal. So Iran is putting naval mines in the Strait of Hormuz here. This is the Strait of Hormuz. Here's where the ships have to go through here, and then the mines are here. If that makes sense. Mines are here. This is the minefield. So if you go back to the map, it's a 35 square mile area where the mines are here. So once the mines are involved, everything changed. You're no longer dealing with something visible or easy to control. You're dealing with hidden threats underwater, spread across a massive area. And even in best case scenario, clearing that kind of environment takes time, precision, and very specialized technology. There's also reports of uncertainty around the exact location of some of these mines, which makes reopening the strait even more complicated. So this is not a simple flip a switch and reopen situation. This becomes a surveillance problem, a mapping problem, and a demining problem. So the next question becomes, how do you actually fix something like this? Because clearing a waterway filled with potential mines is not something that happens overnight. For in many cases, it can take weeks, months to properly scan and secure the area. And the challenge is you can't just send ships through and hope for the best. For every section of water has to be mapped and verified as safe. It's like clearing landmines, except you can't see them and they're underwater. So this is the Navy. The Navy's going to use underwater drones to help clear Iranian mines from the Strait of Hormuz. Another layer of this, these aren't just simple mines. Many of the mines used in regions like the Persian Gulf are what's called influence mines. That means they don't need to be touched to explode. They can detect a ship's magnetic field, sound, or even pressure changes in the water, which makes them significantly more difficult to locate and remove. So this says, the Navy to use underwater drones to help clear the Iranian mines from the Strait of Hormuz. The Navy plans to use underwater drones in the coming days as part of a new effort to clear Iranian mines from the Strait of Hormuz. The strait is a critical maritime choke point for oil exported from the Middle East, and reopening it is more shipping traffic has been top objective for President Trump amid the shaky ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran, which is interesting. And here's something people don't realize. The United States Navy has actually been phasing out some of its older traditional mine clearing ships. The U.S. Navy is phasing out its aging Avenger-class wooden-hulled minesweepers, having decommissioned 4 in late 2025 and early 2026, leaving only 4 active in Japan. These legacy ships are being replaced by Independence-class littoral combat ships, utilizing unmanned systems and helicopters to detect and destroy the mines, aimed at updating capabilities and reducing risk to personnel. So they're shifting towards newer autonomous systems. That includes underwater drones, unmanned surface vessels, and advanced sonar platforms. So at the exact moment when mine threats are becoming relevant again, the technology used to deal with them is evolving. And whenever you have a real world problem that requires a very specific type of technology, investors start asking one question: who actually provides it? So next we go to Kraken Robotics. One of these companies that comes up in that conversation is Kraken Robotics. Kraken specializes in underwater robotics, sonar systems, and seabed mapping. In simple terms, they build the technology that helps detect and map what's happening beneath the surface. And in a situation where naval mines are a real threat, that type of capability becomes extremely important. Now, to be clear, Kraken is not military. They're not out there clearing mines themselves, but they provide the tools that militaries rely on to understand what's underwater. And that puts them in a very interesting position. If demand for this type of technology increases, so now let's watch a video on Kraken Robotics.
Kraken Robotics. Founded in 2012 in Newfoundland, Canada, we began with a mission: commercialize synthetic aperture sonar. Today, we're transforming subsea intelligence worldwide, offering a suite of advanced solutions for defense, energy, and marine research applications. Our SAS and Catfish towed system deliver ultra-high-resolution sonar imagery. Sea-Power batteries deliver more energy in smaller packages, ideal for critical subsea missions. From millimeter-scale LiDAR inspections to subsea floor data collection, Kraken technologies unlock deeper understanding. With global teams delivering products and services to more than 30 countries, Kraken Robotics is at the forefront of subsea innovation. Kraken Robotics, transforming subsea intelligence.
At the same time, there's another layer to the problem. Surveillance. And before you even deal with what's underwater, you need to monitor everything happening above it. Ship movement, unusual activity, patterns in traffic. And that's where a company like Ondas Holding comes into the picture. ONDS focuses on drones, aerial systems, and real-time data transmission. So while Kraken operates below the surface, ONDS operates above it. And in a complex situation like the Strait of Hormuz, both layers matter. This is a video on Ondas autonomous systems. Intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, UGVs, UAS, counter air defense, unmanned one-way attack, LMS. Autonomous robotic systems. All drones and robots work on the same platform together. And the AI software is provided by Palantir. Now here's the part investors care about. What's going on in the market? Do these companies actually benefit from this? And the honest answer is not automatically. Government contracts take time. There's competition and nothing is guaranteed. But here's what makes this interesting. The market doesn't wait for confirmation. It moves on expectation. And when a real-world event suddenly highlights a specific type of technology, investors start pricing in the possibility before it fully plays out. And that's what often stocks begin to move. So this is Kraken Robotics, $5.94. It's down 2% on Friday, the 10th. Here's Ondas at $9.13, down 1.1%. But this is where you have to stay grounded. Nothing here is guaranteed. These companies still need to execute, and they need to win contracts, and timelines in defense can be unpredictable. So while the setup may look strong, the risk is very real. And this is where things get interesting. The biggest moves in the market often happen when a real-world event happens. Suddenly makes a niche technology important. So right now, that's exactly what we're seeing. A global situation, a clear problem, and a small group of companies connected to the solution. So the real question is whether this situation matters, and it's who benefits if it continues. Because in the market, by the time it's obvious, the move is usually already gone. So I want to hear from you. Am I missing any companies in this space? And do you think that Kraken or Ondas actually benefit from this situation? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.